saw, we did some much needed maintenance to my wife's Honda Fit. The thing is going to drive and shift a lot smoother now. We noticed in the service history that the transmission had never been serviced, so we did that service as well as an oil filter change. But now we're heading back to my garage because I found something in my storage that I want to put on. So I was going through my storage the other day and I found this. It is a leather shirts tucked in shift boot with a plastic collar ring at the top, so that way it sits on a shifter nice. I forgot that I had bought it about 3 years ago for a project that I no longer have, and I wish that I knew that I still had this when I was replacing the shifter bushings on this car in the past, but we're besides that now. I have to take the shifter completely out to be able to slot this on, because I have to take the reverse lockout out, so that way this shift boot will sit on there. So let me pull the shifter out and I'll show you how it looks. So the shifter itself that has the reverse lockout is out. I'm gonna pull this guy out and we'll set the shift boot on. So here we go. I now have the fun task of getting this thing back in the car. Not sure if you could tell or not, I had to take this little plastic collar off for it to fit under the reverse lockout. The reverse lockout had a flange on the bottom that I couldn't really install this shift boot without taking it off, but this thing looks absolutely amazing in here. Now that that shift boot has been installed, let's chat about the front coilovers. As I mentioned in the video where we received these are a cut and weld to the spindle style coilover, similar to E36 chassis cars. So where the ball joint bolts up to the car and where the brake disc and everything bolts to, this gets welded to that specific piece. That's on both sides. This bottom strut tube is removable, and my buddy Ben at Boostworks said he would help me out with this. Now, thankfully, this is more for me, but this is an instruction sheet that BC makes, so that way you can get this done the right way, right? So the old strut mount gets cut about 2 inches above where it is already welded to the shock. You then match this little indent point to which side you're welding to, weld that on. Super simple. Now, unfortunately, we're not going to be taking the car over to Ben today. He's a very busy guy. His shop is almost always backed up, but I have let him know that I would like to drop off the car this week. So let's hope that he lets us go. For now, though, we are going to tackle something that has been bugging me on my Daily 86. So some of you might have noticed this car in other videos. I don't really talk about it because this is my daily driver car. It's a nice car, it's very comfortable, it has nice cold AC, and it is relatively fun for the slow car that it is. However, since I have owned this car, I have liked having smaller wheels than what came on stock. So this is a 86 Premium. It came with 18-inch wheels. I opted for finding a set of 17-inch BRZ Premium wheels, which I think suit the car super well. This car has some lowering springs, super simple car. However, these in the rear have a nice little spacer to give them decent fitment. In the fronts, I don't have spacers on them right now. And the fit is not amazing. So let's change that. I don't know about you, but I think I would rather have a little bit of poke than to be sunken in. Let me get this other side done and we'll call it a day. Now, before you start commenting, don't run spacers on your daily. Spacers are dangerous. Some spacers are dangerous in my opinion. I have drifted on bolt-on hub-centric spacers before and never had a problem, and that's the type of spacers that are on this car. They are all hub-centric. The spacer itself has a hub-centric ring for the size of these wheels as well. So everything fits just like the factory car. Also, I just heard from Ben while I was doing this that we are good to drop off the car later this week. So I will pick up the camera when we're at Boostworks. So we made it out to Boostworks. I'm gonna go grab Ben real quick, but I did just want to mention that the car has developed another misfire. I haven't really talked about it on my channel, but I have been really struggling with this car continuing to develop misfires. I've changed fuel pumps, fuel injectors, blown out the lines. I mean, at this point, I think I'm just gonna put a fuel cell in the back with a Walbro and just call it a day. After making sure that he was here, we pulled the car around back and stuck it underneath one of the cars he was actively working on, just because it was raining outside and we didn't want to talk about what we were going to do in the rain. But as I got there, Ben was working on this 2J swapped S30. This thing was super sick. He was fabricating a new exhaust, but this thing was a 2J with a T56 and a Ford 88 in the back. That Soarer from last time we were here is still here. They actually got the engine working since the last time we were here. It started before I got there, which is pretty sweet, and it just looks super nice. I mean, he does serious quality work here, and he's really got a great shop. I mean, we talked to him last time, and they really just knock out a bunch of 2JZ stuff, whether that is like daily driver spec or, you know, full race spec. I mean, they really do it all. I'm really thankful that I know Ben, and he is more than willing to knock out this little project on my crusty Volvo that just needs some coilovers when he's got these 1,000 horsepower cars just sitting around. Now that the car is with Ben, he's gonna knock out the front coilover job, which I'm super grateful for, and we're gonna pick up the car in a few days. Right now though, it's raining and I'm hot from driving in a car with no AC in the summer in Texas while it's raining, so we're gonna go get some dinner. So it's actually been a little while since I've picked up the camera. We went out of town for a long weekend, and Ben just kept working on the car. He had a few things ahead of me, which is not a big deal, but that car is done and we're gonna pick it up soon. However, Ben did let me know that the alignment on the front is not so great. He went ahead and sandwiched the B&E quick steer adapters underneath the finished coilovers, but the inner and outer tie rod are seized together, and the bushings on the arms down there are pretty shot. So the alignment's not great, but I anticipated this. I knew that the tie rods were seized together, and I kind of figured that the alignment would be all out of whack with the quick steer on there, with not being able to adjust anything. But I have just ordered new tie rods, new adjustable strut rods, and I stopped by my friend Mike's part storage to pick up some new control arms. So I was able to pick up some steel lower control arms. I have poly bushings for them, so these will get pressed out and the polys will go in. But these, I mentioned, are steel, and that is because I have aluminum control arms on the car now. There's a different sway bar in-link pickup point on the other arms, and one, these are stronger, and two, these allow me to run adjustable in-links from B&E, which are on my short list. While I was there, he was really generous and just threw in a spare set of rear calipers, because I will be doing a hydro in the future, so that's nice to have. And he also gave me the rest of the hardware for the front lower section. Just need to clean them up. I know I'm probably going to have issues taking off the other ones, but not a big deal. Also, he gave me some new radiator support arms. The upper arms on mine, I lost one at some point. I don't know where it went, but we have two new ones. I did want to quickly say something about the green block. This is something that I'm slowly chipping away at. I need to get the crankcase resealed and then bolt the head on and put the camshaft in the head. Otherwise, this thing will have its own video when that all happens. With all that being said, Let's run over to Boostworks and pick up the car. So we're back at Boostworks to pick up the car. Thank you, Ben, so much for knocking out those coilovers.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Really big help. I mean, did the car like give you any issues besides like alignment?
No, I mean it was a breeze for the most part. Some of the bolts were a little rusty. The dust shield didn't want to go back in. It was all bent up.
That's fine.
But other than that, it went pretty well, pretty smooth.
Cool.
The welds turned out real clean. I'm happy with those.
Awesome. And then you're also working on exhaust for this R35 that you have over here?
Yeah, more or less. Just doing a muffler deleter, really pulling the glass pack out of the mufflers. So kind of some dirty, nasty work for a real nice car, but sometimes that's how it goes, you know.
Sure. Well, again, thank you so much for knocking that out. I really appreciate it. Yeah. And then once we get the car back home, we're going to start on the suspension refresh. So the car drives great. These coilovers in the front feel freaking amazing. I think I really nailed it with the spring rate that I chose. Just a quick reminder, it's 8K in the front, 6K in the back. They are completely stock, so no dampening adjustment or anything has been done to them. Drives great. Once we get the suspension refresh underway, we'll definitely be able to tell if we need to go stiffer or softer in the front or the back. But until then, thank you so much for watching. I am really thankful for all of you that stayed till the end of the video, like the video, comment, and share it with everyone. It really means a lot to me. But we're gonna eat some dinner, and thank you so much for watching. See you next time.